Long ago, there was a proud king who ruled a large kingdom. He was known for his arrogant nature and often ignored the needs of his people. In a nearby village, a farmer named Anthony lived with his wife, Catherine, and their 2 children, Joseph and Julia. Anthony owned a small piece of land where he grew wheat. Life was simple, but he worked hard to provide for his family. Not far from the village, in the forest, lived a saint in a small hut. Anthony often went to meet him, finding peace and comfort in his words. One evening, after dinner, Catherine served tea. She sat beside him and said,
"Our crops are almost ready. After selling them, we can fulfill some of our big expenses."
Anthony sighed.
God willing. But without rain, everything may be lost.
Catherine smiled gently.
"Don't worry. Rain will come soon."
Just then Joseph rushed in.
Mom! Julia snatched my pencil!
Catherine called out,
"Julia, give the pencil back to your brother."
Anthony sat quietly and sipped his tea, his heart heavy with worry. 2 weeks passed. The rain still had not come. The fields were drying, and the farmers grew desperate. Joseph and Julia even carried cans to fetch water from nearby places, but it was never enough. One night, Catherine served fried rice with boiled eggs. She noticed Anthony taking very little.
"Please eat more,"
she urged. Anthony shook his head.
If the crop's dry, how will we survive?
Catherine thought for a moment, then said,
"Go to the royal court. Ask the king to dig wells in our village."
Anthony went out and gathered the village chief and the other farmers. He spoke.
I think we should go to the royal court and ask the king to dig wells for us.
The farmers agreed. The village chief raised his hand.
Then it is decided. Tomorrow morning, we leave for the capital.
The next day, Anthony, the village chief, and 3 other farmers set out. By afternoon they reached the capital city. The royal guards stopped them at the gate and asked some questions. At last, they were allowed inside the court. They bowed before the king. The village chief spoke.
Your Majesty, the rains have not come. Our fields are drying. Please, order wells to be dug in our village.
The king said coldly.
I have no money to dig wells.
The farmers returned, broken-hearted. The next morning, Anthony went to meet the saint. The saint looked at him kindly.
You look worried. My son, what has happened?
Anthony shared everything. The dry fields, the farmers' worries, and the king's refusal. At last, he said.
Please pray for us.
The saint smiled gently.
Don't worry. Everything will be fine.
Anthony felt a little lighter and returned home. Soon after, the king went hunting in the forest. Chasing a lion cub, he lost his guards and became terribly thirsty. At last, he found a small hut and asked for water. The saint offered him a glass. The king drank eagerly. The saint said,
Now you know the value of water.
The king was surprised.
What do you mean?
The saint replied,
Farmers begged you for help to dig wells, yet you refused.
The king bowed his head in shame and returned to the palace. The very next morning, Anthony was eating breakfast. Catherine placed a glass of milk before him. Just then, the sound of a drum echoed through the village. Anthony looked up in surprise.
What's happening?
He stood and walked outside. Catherine followed him, and Joseph and Julia ran after them. In the village square, the drummer announced,
The king has ordered wells dug in the village.
Anthony saw the royal servants already marking places for the wells. He turned to Catherine, and they both smiled with relief. Joseph and Julia hugged their father tightly.
Dad. Now we don't need to go searching for water.
Julia said excitedly. Anthony nodded, smiling.